All right, we're knocking out today's live a little early. It's going to be a long day for me again. Got most of the stuff in the house done yesterday. Now it's just stuff that I need to do for projects that I'm helping. I think that's what I want to focus on talking about today is just allocating time. Uh, it's been something I've struggled with my whole life, mostly because I never made time for myself. But I've really done a lot of work in the past couple years to figure out what that looks like for me and how to do that. I'm in this weird spot right now where I didn't do it for 40 years of my life. And now I've been doing it, like in it being taking time for myself, and figuring out what I need instead of trying to serve others all the time and ignoring my needs. So I think for me in the beginning, it was tough to do that, obviously. But once I started doing it, I realized how valuable it is. And then it was just about figuring out all the places I hadn't given attention to. And I think that's what the past year and a half, couple years have been for me, is just figuring out all the places that I never tried to help myself, and catching up for 40 years. And now I'm in a transition period where I am only helping myself for the most part and trying to get back to a point where I'm helping others. And it's been a struggle. Because now I feel like my needs for the first time in my life take priority over everything. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But for somebody who's spent the first 40 years plus of his life making others a priority, I feel a little selfish most days. Prioritizing myself still. I mean, even after a year or two. Especially when some of the stuff I'm working on is like obviously really big things, like helping those in Ukraine. Like that's a big thing, and it's something that I want to do. But for me right now, and I even feel selfish saying this out loud, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't have a job right now. So trying to figure out that part of the puzzle takes priority for me. A lot of people, and I probably have said this on a previous live, is if you can't help yourself be the person you need to be, and you can't help yourself be 100%, you're not going to be 100% for anything else that you do. And I struggle when I'm not 100% for something. So, and I feel like everything I'm doing right now, I'm not 100% for. But so, all that to say, like, I think before I get too far into this project, which is why I've kind of hit the brakes here in the past few days, that and the computer issues, which seem to be fine, by the way. I just want to take time to make sure that I'm allocating my time correctly. And I think this live today, I'm just going to brain dump what's on my plate and list my priorities. So We already discussed this. Priority number one, at least for the time being, until I'm back, and I'm getting there, back to 100%. I think I'm closer to it than I have been in over 7 years, so I might not look it. But I'm on my way back to where I need to be. So until I get there and I feel like I am there, and even after I feel like I'm there, I might still do this because obviously it's important. Priority number one, this guy. Doesn't mean I can't help others. Doesn't mean I can't be there for others. And this is the first time I'm ever saying this out loud, but I'm going to make myself a priority. Priority number two, Boo Boo. Because she's the shit. There are few people in my life that have done what she's done for me. I'd argue, aside from my ma birthing me and making sure I didn't die before I was able to fend for myself, my pops. She's done a lot for me. And I haven't necessarily been in a place to reciprocate or help her the way I need to help her the past few years. So making sure once I get to 100% that I'm taking care of me and then her. My top two priorities right now. Number three, finding a fucking job. And Devin would probably argue that I need to put that as number two or number one. And she wouldn't be wrong. Most people would be okay to be in my situation right now. I hate it. I hate not feeling like I'm making a living doing something. Because I'm working. I'm doing work. And I guess doing work doesn't always have to result in a monetary gain, but something does. Got to make a living somehow. And I own that a lot of that is my responsibility and fault of why I'm not. I could go get a job at the corner store. I even thought about going to get a job at Buc-ee's because I love me some Buc-ee's. I'm not above it. I just feel like I'm meant to be doing more. Like I'm meant for more. And it's not a knock on anybody that goes and works at Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's. I literally would go work at Buc-ee's tomorrow. But I don't think... I've tried that route with multiple jobs. And it hasn't worked for me yet. Because I'm either too burnt out when I get home from those jobs. I pour 150% into what I do. And that's my other problem. Not everything deserves 150%. I need to work. I need to get paid to work. It's not saying that I can't do things to work towards a job, which is what I feel like I've done time and time again. And I'll do because the work that I want to do, I do. And I don't care about money. I never have. I shouldn't say never. I used to care about money. But part of my problem now is I don't care about money. It doesn't buy everything. It makes life a lot easier. But I also believe like if it was easy, everybody would do it. And I'm not trying to do something everybody does. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm on the right path. I just don't know where it's going. And I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I feel like I am. And you gotta be honest with yourself too. I mean, because everybody wants everything now, and everybody wants more than you're willing to give. So I think I just need to sit down with the list that I just gave and outline how much time in my day, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and you sleep 1/3 of it if you get your 8 hours. So I need to sit down with that list, and I need to allocate how many hours I'm going to do. Excuse me. How many hours I'm going to do for each thing. Every week, every day. And I'll publish that. We'll do a live about it. Because once I have that list, and I've determined how many hours a day, then it's just a matter of execution. So finding a job was number 3. I'd say number 4 is this NFT 365 project. It's I haven't felt this passionate about work in a long time, and that means something to me. There's a lot of jobs I think I can do. Right now I'm focused on jobs that I want to do. There's a lot of people I can work with. Right now I'm focused on people I want to work with. And something drew me to Brian Fanzo in 2015. Something's kept me following him. And something drew me to this project when it started. So I've always trusted my gut. And while I'm left scratching my head most days on where my gut's leading me, I still trust it. And as far as projects outside of myself, my girl, and my work, my job, I think that's the top thing that I'm focused on right now, want to do. I don't know why, but it is. That's where I'm at. And where I'm struggling with that is I'm not really struggling with it. I shouldn't say struggle. Where I'm finding it tough to balance my time is that isn't a paid job. Neither is the Ukraine thing. I don't think either of them need to be right now. But that's part of my problem, is the two things where I'm spending my extra time is not bringing me money. And I don't have a day job. So in my mind, I should be spending the entire day on making sure my head's right and finding a job. I think both of those could lead to jobs if I wanted it to. And I definitely love both. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning an insane amount from both. And I've always felt like, even if I'm not getting paid, the value I gain in education and experience is always more than anybody could pay me. So they're definitely delivering value right now. My problem is like if something comes up in my personal side, or the girl, or a job, potential job, I drop those things. So I don't know if I need to reset expectations, set more boundaries. I suck at setting boundaries. But I need to find a better balance there, because the last thing I want to do is let down those two projects. They mean a lot to me right now. So, I have a long day today. I'm going to break out. I think I'm spending a couple hours on a masterclass with NFT 365 and Brian Fanzo. I have the backyard to finish cutting. I still have a third of it because the battery died this morning when I started. So I got to do that, finish the yard. I have pretty much everything wrapped up in the house, but I got to do a serious cleaning here on the floors. Pretty much just the floors. And then pack up and head back. And then I've still got to cut that promo for this week's game night for NFT 365. I have so much to do on their Ukraine side that I just haven't gotten to. In the beginning, I told them I could allocate 1 to 3 hours, and I'm spending at least twice that every week, which is part of my problem too. I think outlining time spent, what days, office hours, so to speak, for each project is going to help me tremendously. So as I'm doing my work today, I'm going to think through that. Maybe tomorrow's live, I just sit down and take the 15-20 minutes that I'm live and actually break those hours out. Do it right here. Figure it out. I think biggest part I'm struggling with these lives is I want it to be tight. I want it to be entertaining. Right now, I just don't have that energy to give to this. So bear with me as I get through this, because once I figure those things out, it's going to be entertaining and it's going to be fun. But it's fun maybe for some of you folks that are trying to figure out how to do this and at a similar point. It's not fun for me living it. I never like the beginning part and figuring it out. I like getting to the point where I'm doing reps and learning, or at least feeling like I'm learning. I know I'm learning here too, but we're all learning, always. So I think that's enough for today. We'll be back tomorrow, finishing out the stuff at the lake house, then heading home. Peace.